Embrace debate, Saints fans. We got a hot topic of discussion here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Should Taysom Hill, number 7, be in the NFL Hall of Fame? Just give me a yes or a no in the comments section and embrace debate. Over the next 10, maybe 15 or so minutes, I'm going to convince you that Taysom Hill should be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Trace Girouard, and we got a lot to dive into in the show. And I want to start off by kind of what sparked this conversation. Derek Carr went on the Pardon My Take podcast over with Barstool Sports, and he had a lot of really interesting things to say, but none more interesting than this, in my opinion. Taysom Hill is the best player I have ever played with. Let me read that again. Taysom Hill is the best football player I have ever played with. He can do everything. He throws, runs, catches, plays fullback, quarterback, tight end, receiver. He lines up in the slot. He can block punts. He's a personal protector. And just because of how stat works, I don't know how the stats work, but that man is a Hall of Fame football player. And I tweeted about it, but I was like, hey, I think Taysom Hill 100% should be in the Hall of Fame. And, you know, I'm going to let a couple of you guys flame me on the show because I'm about to flame y'all here on my show as well. So LSU All Day says some of y'all need to stop getting on this app and saying anything that comes to mind. I can't believe I'm even responding to this nonsense, but Taysom Hill isn't deserving to be put in the Saints Ring of Honor, much less the NFL Hall of Fame. And LSU All Day, we could not disagree more, my friend. Honestly, I'm not going to sit here and take chirps from a guy who looks like he lives on the Jersey Shore. Let's go to Beefy Baker now saying, there's no way in hell you actually believe this. I do. I firmly do. I 100% do. And I'm about to tell you why. Now, Caden Yaps, I think he posed a good question. He said, Taysom Hill has roughly 5,200 yards combined in 6 seasons. Brother, what are we talking about here? Well, Caden, let's have a conversation. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. Taysom Hill, he is not just limited by one position. He is a football player through and through. He is not a tight end. He is not a quarterback. He is not a receiver. He is literally the physical embodiment of the flex fantasy football position. If that was a real thing, which it's starting to seem like the NFL is kind of trying to create that position because of number 7, I'm here to tell you, he is a Hall of Famer. He is not a football player, or he's not a quarterback. He's not a running back. He is a football player. You can't look at him as a quarterback. You can't look at him as a running back. You can't look at him as one specific position because he does it all. Now, really quick reminder, if you want more Saints content by Saints fans for Saints fans, I encourage you to subscribe and join our squad. We're currently sitting at around 28,400 subscribers. Let's get to 28,500 with today's video. And if you love Taysom Hill, I need you to hit that sub button. Click it down below. It's big, it's red, and you should click that button. All right, so I want to start off really quick. I know I just kind of went on a rant talking about, well, he's a football player. He's not this one specific position. So let's define what a football player is. And according to the Cambridge Dictionary, I was going to look at dictionary.com, but Cambridge Dictionary seemed a little bit more legit. A football player, it's a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Look at us. We're taking a little, a stroll through English class. A person who plays football, especially as a job. That is what a football player is. And I'm here to tell you right now, Taysom Hill might be one of the best all-around football players in the entire league. And in 97 games throughout his career, he has amassed over 2,000 rushing yards, 27 rushing touchdowns, 76 catches, over 750 receiving yards, a completion percentage of just over 64%. The passing yards, just under 2,500. The touchdown to interception ratio, sure, that's not a Hall of Fame number, but he's not a quarterback. He does everything. He also he returns kicks, almost 500 yards in kick returns. Unbelievable. And 2 stats that I don't think get nearly enough credit. 2 blocked punts over his career. And 16 tackles, 12 of which are solo. Now, I have a challenge for you. If you're a Saints fan, if you're an NFL fan, if you just clicked on this video because you're like, what is this cherry-cheeked idiot having to say about Taysom Hill? I encourage you, name me 3 players, let alone name me 1 player in the league who has the impact that Taysom Hill has on the Saints. Again, he's not just an offensive player. He's not just a defensive player. He's not just special teams. He's all of it. You cannot name me 1 person who does all of that just as good as Taysom Hill, if not better. There isn't. There simply is not. And I want to show some love to Taysom Hill because I like to think that Saints players watch my content, watch our videos. So I want you to flood the comment section with number 7 down below. If you love the Storm and Mormon, if you're a big-time fan of Taysom Hill, show him some love in the comment section. Type 7 times if you're an absolute real one. Now, Dennis Allen, we all, have our opinions, but I'm going to give him some credit here because I really like what he had to say about Taysom Hill. He's saying that's the uniqueness of number 7. In modern era football, at least in the last 20 to 30 years, I can't really think of anybody that's really been able to do as many different things as Taysom Hill has been able to do. And shout out to Dennis Allen. I totally agree with that take. There is not another person in the last 20 or 30 years that I can think of that does what Taysom Hill does. And fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, but he is one of 2 players in NFL history to have 25 rushing touchdowns, 10 passing touchdowns, and 10 receiving touchdowns, all combined. There are 2 players in this entire history of this great league that have been able to do that. And, let's make it a little bit easier and bring some other names into it. Let's talk about the 10-10-10 club. 10 passing touchdowns, 10 receiving touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns. Last time that happened, the guy retired in the 60s. My grandfather was in high school when this happened. Taysom Hill is one of one. Frank Gifford, 1952 to 64. He was able to do it. Jimmy Conzelman, 1920 to 1929. I mean, the Great Gatsby was driving around at that time. Red Grange, 1925 to 1934. And Charlie Trippey, 1947 to 1955. Taysom Hill is the only player to join the 10-10-10 club since the 60s. That alone is special. And also, did you all know this? Number 7's in Canton. He's there. He is in the Hall of Fame. So if you're saying he's not a Hall of Fame player, well, he's already there. And I truly do believe that he should find himself in the Hall of Fame rocking one of those beautiful, beautiful jackets, getting a bus and everything. He is a phenomenal football player. And we mentioned Charlie Trippey just a second ago, and I was scrolling on the Pro Football Hall of Fame website, and I actually found this quote, and I thought it was really telling, and I thought it was very applicable to Taysom Hill. In those days, the more things a player did, the more pay he could demand. I could run, kick, pass, and catch, and that made me a valuable property. Now, Taysom Hill, maybe he can't kick, but he can run, he can catch, he can throw, he can tackle, he can block punts, he can block, he can do anything. Whatever you want him to do, I'm 99.9% positive you could line up Taysom Hill to punt or kick the ball, and he would do it at least halfway competent. Now, I have so much more to get into, but I got to give a special shout out to Game Time. Welcome back, Game Time, to Saints Now. We appreciate you for sponsoring today's video. And if you love going to live events like concerts, comedy shows, and sporting events, you have to check out the Game Time app. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seat, and the lowest price guaranteed, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets, tickets to go to any LSU games. I know that LSU's taking on USC here in a few months in Las Vegas, so I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. And then on top of that, there's so many awesome events all the time going on around New Orleans. So when you download the Game Time app and you create an account and use code CHATSPORTS, that's CHATSPORTS, you see it at the bottom of your screen, you will get $20 off your first purchase. And you can use those savings to go get yourself a beer, get yourself a t-shirt, whatever you want to do. Now, I'm looking at getting tickets here in Arlington for the Saints vs. Cowboys game in week 2. And I hope to see you there, and I hope that you use the Game Time app. And I love how user-friendly it is. Plus, there's so many cool promos, giveaways, all sorts of stuff that they notify you about when the stadium has fun things going on. So one more time, take the guesswork out of buying tickets to any sort of event with Game Time. Terms apply. Create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. All that information is in the comment section and description of this video. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, so Taysom Hill to the Hall of Fame. Let's kind of just have a little synopsis here. Let's kind of just run back through everything. The most versatile player of all time. There's just no doubt about it. If you want to try and have an argument with me, you want to have a conversation of here's who is more versatile, here's a player who can do more, I encourage you to get in the comments and let me know. He's also part of the 10-10-10 club, one of 5 players. He's also one of 2 players part of the 25-10-10 club. He can play multiple positions. He can play on multiple sides of the ball, and he was an innovator in the sport. There are very few players that have been able to do what Taysom Hill has done. However, there are a ton of teams that are trying to create that Taysom Hill role. I mean, you've seen it on ESPN. You've seen it on social media. The Taysom Hill role, that Taysom Hill type player, that is that thing now because of number 7. And I think that number 7 talking about his career was really, really cool. He says, I look back at my career and I certainly didn't think it would have gone the way that it has. It's overwhelming when I hear things like that. I have a lot of gratitude to be with this program and play with the coaches that are creative enough to give me the opportunity. It really is a whole lot of gratitude. All right, last chat stat that I got to share you, just in case you were like, you know what, maybe he's good, but I don't think he's a Hall of Fame player. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, the Saints win a Super Bowl with Taysom Hill at quarterback, or not quarterback, when he carries the ball 7 times. When Taysom Hill carries the ball 7+ times, the Saints are 18-3. Saints could go win a Super Bowl basically on that one season. Not obviously, but you see what I'm saying? When Taysom Hill gets the ball more than 7 times and he rushes the ball 7 or more times, the Saints win games. It's a fact. That's just what they do. And I think that Taysom Hill should get the ball 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games a season, or a game, and plays a game. I'm so brain dead. I'm sorry, y'all. I've had a long day in my personal life, but I love Taysom Hill, and I think that this is a really, really fun argument to be made. I had a lot of fun making this video, and Taysom, if you're watching, man, I love you. You are one of my favorite players of all time, not just in the New Orleans Saints, but in the NFL's history. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for just being you, and thank you so much for giving us so many awesome memories as Saints fans. And last thing I'll say is I love you, number 7. Now, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.